Walking gets no respect. It's not intense enough to count as cardio according to gym culture. It's not impressive enough to post about. It doesn't make you sore the next day. But 1 month of walking every single day does something to your body that most people completely underestimate, and some of it starts happening within the first 72 hours. Here's exactly what daily walking does, week by week, and why it's one of the most underrated things you can do for your body regardless of your current fitness level. Days 1 to 7. Your body starts regulating itself. Within the first week, something quiet happens. Your blood sugar starts stabilizing. Every time you walk, your muscles pull glucose out of your bloodstream for fuel, without needing insulin to do it. This is called non-insulin-mediated glucose uptake, and it happens every single time you go for a walk. For people eating high-carb diets or dealing with energy crashes throughout the day, this effect alone is worth the 30 minutes. Your cortisol levels also begin dropping. Cortisol is your primary stress hormone, and chronic elevation, which most people are walking around with constantly, disrupts sleep, increases fat storage around the abdomen, and suppresses immune function. Walking for 30 minutes drops cortisol measurably. Do it every day for a week and your baseline stress response starts shifting downward. Sleep improves too. Not dramatically in week 1, but enough to notice. Your body temperature rises during a walk and drops afterward, and that temperature drop is one of the primary signals your brain uses to initiate sleep. Daily walking essentially gives your sleep system a consistent trigger it can rely on. Days 8 to 14. The cardiovascular system wakes up. By the second week your heart is adapting. Stroke volume, the amount of blood your heart pumps per beat, starts increasing. Your resting heart rate begins dropping slightly. Your cardiovascular system is becoming more efficient at doing its job, and it's doing it without a single sprint, burpee, or moment of gasping for air. Your blood pressure, if elevated, begins responding too. Walking causes your blood vessels to dilate repeatedly during each session. Over time this improves vascular elasticity, your vessels get better at expanding and contracting. The result is measurably lower blood pressure in most people within 2 weeks of consistent daily walking. Your mood also shifts noticeably here. Walking triggers the release of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which is essentially fertilizer for your brain cells. It also increases serotonin and dopamine production. The effect isn't euphoric. It's subtler than that. You just feel slightly more even. Less reactive. More capable of handling the same problems that felt heavier last week. Days 15 to 21. Your body composition starts shifting. Here's where people get confused. The scale might not move much. But your body is changing anyway. Walking burns calories, roughly 300 to 400 per hour depending on your pace and body weight. 30 minutes a day adds up to 1,500 to 2,000 extra calories burned per week, without changing a single thing about your diet. Over a month that's a meaningful deficit. But the more important change is happening in your fat metabolism. Low-intensity exercise, like walking preferentially burns fat as fuel rather than glycogen. Your body gets better at accessing fat stores, better at transporting fatty acids, and better at using fat as a primary energy source. This is called improved fat oxidation, and it makes every subsequent workout, walking or otherwise, more efficient at burning fat. Your legs are also getting stronger. Not dramatically. But your calves, glutes, and hip flexors are doing real work every single step. If you walk on varied terrain or add hills, the adaptation accelerates. By week 3 most people notice their legs feel more capable, less fatigue climbing stairs, less tightness after sitting, better overall lower body endurance. Days 22 to 30. The compounding effects arrive. In the final stretch everything compounds. Energy levels stabilize across the entire day, not just post-walk. Cognitive focus sharpens. The BDNF accumulation from 3 weeks of daily walks is now having a measurable effect on memory, attention, and processing speed. Research consistently shows that regular walking improves hippocampal volume, the brain region responsible for memory, over time. 30 days isn't long enough to measure that structurally, but the functional effects are already showing up. Inflammation markers drop. C-reactive protein, one of the primary indicators of systemic inflammation, decreases with consistent moderate exercise. Chronic inflammation is linked to virtually every major disease. 30 days of walking doesn't eliminate it, but it moves the needle in the right direction more reliably than most interventions people actually try. Your posture improves. Daily walking strengthens your posterior chain, glutes, hamstrings, lower back, and naturally counteracts the forward collapse that comes from sitting. By day 30 you're standing taller without thinking about it. The real point. Walking doesn't look like exercise. That's exactly why people underestimate it. There are no dramatic before and after photos from a month of walking. No personal records. No visible pump. Just a body that's sleeping better, thinking more clearly, handling stress more effectively, burning fat more efficiently, and moving through the world with less friction than it did 30 days ago. That's not nothing. That's most of what people are actually chasing with far more complicated programs. Start with 30 minutes. Every day. 1 month. Then tell us it doesn't count. If you want to pair your walking habit with a bodyweight strength program that builds on these adaptations, the Iron Monk playbook is in the description. I'll see you all in the next video.